There are so many events in the Olympics that we all know and love, but how do new events actually enter the games? Well, more often than not, they start as what are called demonstration events, where they are basically given a shot before entering the games for real. And while some make it, others flop miserably. So let's count down 10 of the demonstration events that didn't make the cut. This is gonna be fun. Number 10, Sled Dog Racing. Yep, this is exactly what you think it is. The classic Arctic pastime actually got consideration to become an Olympic event. And not just once, not just twice, but thrice. Can you believe it? It first debuted as a demonstration event at the 1932 Olympics in Lake Placid, but it didn't make it any further. Then it went into hibernation for 20 years, where it was again trialed at the 1952 Games in Oslo, but again, no love. It stayed that way for more than 40 years when it was given its third and last shot to date at the 1994 Olympics in Lillehammer. But alas, after 3 tries, it has never graduated to official medal status, and it's been frozen solid ever since. My 2 cents here is that if you are still willing to have equestrian events at the Summer Olympics, isn't this kind of something similar? I'm just saying. Number 9, roller hockey. So we have ice hockey in the Winter Olympics and we have field hockey in the Summer Olympics. Those are both firmly established. But sitting somewhere in the hockey no man's land is roller hockey. This was included as a demonstration event at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona. And it's not surprising that it was at that Olympics that it was given a little push, because Spain and neighboring Portugal are the 2 most dominant forces in this sport globally. Unfortunately, while it was a good bit of fun at the 92 Olympics, it simply did not stick around any longer, and that year was the first and only time roller hockey got considered even remotely a part of the Olympic program. Which, if I'm being honest, is a bit of a surprise. I would have thought this one would have had a bit more momentum behind it. Maybe it will again in the future. Number 8, ski ballet. This one is a short but an absolutely wild ride. So to begin, the event is actually what you would have thought it was based on the name. It's people dancing on skis, which I guess I kind of understand. After all, it's basically the snow version of rhythmic gymnastics. And though many of you may chuckle now, this sport was gaining some serious momentum in the 1970s and 1980s, so much so that the International Olympic Committee decided to trial it as a demonstration event at both the 1988 and 1992 Winter Olympics. But just as fast as the momentum built for this sport, it just as quickly declined. After not being accepted into the Olympics after 1992, its popularity dropped insanely fast. So much so that within 10 years after that, the International Ski Federation ceased all formal competitions. Fare thee well, ski ballet. We'll remember you fondly. I just wanted to take a quick time out here from all the athletic fun we're having to say I hope you're enjoying the video, and if so, it would be swell if you'd consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton, and it ensures that you don't miss any top shelf, A-grade amazing content like this. So thanks in advance. Number 7, bowling. I know there are a lot of bowlers out there, and I'm sorry to disappoint you in advance. But you already know this sport is not in the Olympics, being the hardcore bowler that you are, so I'll make this section fast as a courtesy. All joking aside, it's criminal in my opinion that this hasn't been given more love as a potential Olympic sport. I'm not saying with 100% certainty it should go into the games, but it should have been given a better crack than it has been. In fact, it was only a demonstration event one time. That's it. Where's the love for bowling, y'all? And to rub some salt in the bowling wound, the 1988 Olympics in Seoul featured 5 demonstration events. Bowling, along with badminton, baseball, judo, and taekwondo. And bowling is the only one of those 5 to not eventually get into the Olympics at least once. So sad. Number 6, speed skiing. We already talked about ski ballet. Now let's talk about another skiing demonstration event that never made it into the Olympics. But this one didn't make it for a completely different reason. A deadly reason, in fact. At those same 1992 Olympics in Albertville, France, where ski ballet was demonstrated, so too was speed skiing. It's exactly what it sounds like. Go down a hill on skis as fast as you freaking can. And I mean fast. Skiers would routinely cross over 200 kilometers an hour or 124 miles an hour. So in this day and age of extreme Red Bull fueled events, why didn't this one make it in? Well, because this sport is extraordinarily dangerous and many people have died doing speed skiing, both before and after the demonstration event. That said, could this one make a comeback? I could actually see it happening in theory, as speed skiing is the fastest a human being can go without a motor, and it's a super simple sport. but until it gets safer, there is no way the IOC gives this a green light. Number 5, water skiing. From skiing on the snow to skiing on the water, it's time to talk through the Olympic background of water skiing. The 1972 Munich Olympics are remembered far less for the actual athletics and more for the infamous massacre. But one small, relatively insignificant footnote to those games was it marked the first and only time water skiing was given the tiniest bit of Olympic sunshine. I'm not saying this should be an Olympic event, far from it. But I am saying I at least conceptually understand why it was given a shot. I mean, if you're just judging tricks and jumps done on water skis in the summer, is it really all that different from tricks and jumps done on skis and snowboards in the winter? Whatever the reason, no one has given this a second Olympic thought since then. It's been more than 50 years, so I doubt it's coming back. Number 4, military patrol. All right, I have your attention, I know it. This just sounds interesting, doesn't it? Like sled dog racing, this one was given 3 cracks at the Olympic Games in 1928, 1936, and 1948. And like sled dog racing, it never officially got to become a proper medal event. So what is this wild and wacky event, you ask? Well, it combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. And if you think that sounds an awful lot like the biathlon, you are correct. The rules are extremely similar between the two, but the big difference with military patrol is that it's more of a team event with 1 leader and 3 members. And while military patrol specifically never made it over the line into the Olympics, it walked so that the biathlon could run, or ski, I suppose. Over time, military patrol got reorganized and the rules got tweaked, and that eventually turned into the modern biathlon we know and love today. Isn't history fun? Number 3, lacrosse. This one comes with an asterisk because it's got a weird history, but I wanted to include it. So lacrosse actually was an Olympic event. In fact, it was an event twice, in 1904 and 1908, and then it was dropped. So sad, though I'm guessing it's because it's not more globally popular and it's also predominantly male in the sport, but still. And then lacrosse was then again a demonstration event 3 times after that, in 1928 in Amsterdam, 1932 in Los Angeles, and 1948 in London. Lacrosse got its shot again, and all 3 of those times it came up short of the proverbial podium. And then all went quiet for lacrosse for like 75 years. But now it may very well be back, though in a hybrid format. It's slated to be in the 2028 Olympics in a modified sixes format. So it's not really the classic lacrosse, but a newer, smaller version. Maybe lacrosse is just going to go the way of military patrol and change a bit in order to make it. Maybe? Time will tell. Number 2, winter pentathlon. Okay, this one actually makes sense to me in that if you're okay with having a pentathlon at the Summer Olympics, why not have something similar at the Winter Olympics? Like, why is one okay but not the other? At the 1948 Olympics in St. Moritz, the world got its one and only look at this winter behemoth. For those wondering, the 5 segments were cross-country skiing, shooting, downhill skiing, fencing, and horse riding. The last 2 may seem odd, but when you consider the military links for a lot of the winter events, it makes a lot more sense. And for all of my Swedish fans out there, you'll be happy to know that Sweden swept the podium with the top 3 finishers. But sadly, this event never graduated to becoming a full medal event at the Olympics, and it's never come back since. Honestly, I could actually get behind this one coming back, maybe with different events, but hey, why not? That sounds like a good bit of fun to me. Number 1, Korfball. What in the heck is Korfball, you're asking? I can hear it now. Well, it's awesome. That's what it is. And that's what makes it number 1 on today's list. Let's begin with a definition of what this thing actually is. It's kind of similar to netball and basketball. It's played by 2 teams of 8 players a side, where the objective is to throw a ball into a basket that is mounted on a 3.5 meter or 11.5 foot pole. Why do I think it's awesome? Well, let me count the ways. First, what a great name for a sport, Korfball. That's just objectively true. Second, it's one of the few purposefully mixed events. There are 8 players a side, as mentioned, but that's made up of 4 men and 4 women. I think it's fantastic to have a mixed squad, and the Olympics needs way more of this, if you ask me. This was a demonstration event twice in 1920 and 1928, but sadly, it never made it any further. And that's a real shame. This one, or something similar like netball, I think will be a real winner, and I think something like it eventually makes it into the games. Well, there you have it, folks. That was a jolly good time today. Those are 10 fun demonstration events. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let's keep the conversation going. And until next time, keep practicing your korfball.